What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, wanted to bring you a recap of day 4 of Colts training camp. Some good news, some bad news, things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun to go over these with you guys. We'll go ahead and hop into that right now. Actually, today was the first full day of pads. So new environment here, a lot of cool stuff to happen, but nevertheless, we'll hop into it now. Yeah, so like I said, full pads today. And if you guys ever want to check out any of these as well, make sure you guys go and check out on Twitter. James Boyd or George Bremer or some of these other guys are also tweeting a bunch of these things. So shout out to them for being able to do these so that I can, make videos like this. Wasn't able to go to last weekend and it won't be able to go until next week either. So, it's great that they're doing all these with us. Anyways, we'll go ahead and hop into this stuff real quick. A couple other quick things too before going into like the actual practice stuff. James Boyd also mentioned that Dallas Flowers is convinced he'll reclaim his starting job after his Achilles tear. Dallas Flowers saying, I need that spot. So definitely going to be some tough competition there. And actually, he posted a clip from Sunday's practice for when Shane Steichen was talking about Julian Blackmon. And Steichen had stated, when you talk football to him, he's like talking to another coach. He said on Blackmon intercepting Anthony Richardson, my eyes went there too. As a former QB, that was a hell of a play, he said. So, again, anytime anyone talks about Julian Blackmon, I just don't understand the hate. And also at the same time, I'm truly surprised we did not keep him for long term when it came to any of this. So, I mean, hey, the Colts are going to have to keep this man for a while. So, anyways, that's just all from previous days. Anyways, so moving on now, not practicing today, Dayo Adangbo and Amir Speed. Remember, Dayo Adangbo also got hurt with a calf injury on practice Sunday, I believe. So he didn't get to finish it and still wasn't there today, or actually might have been the day or two before that. But Dayo not practicing for the second straight day. Obviously, if it was anything like what we saw with Samson Ebukam, we would have heard something by now on whether or not it was that severe. So it doesn't sound like it's anything that's going to be season ending. Still no update yet on when we might see Dayo Adangbo back, but I will keep you guys informed as well when we do. James stated that there was Dallas Flowers, Josh Downs, Kenny Moore, and Trey Sermon were all getting reps as kickoff returner. So that's very interesting. No Anthony Gold in that name. We'll have to see if that changes at all, but we'll see. George saying Braden Smith not only working in full pads today, but has graduated to full 11 on 11 work, which is fantastic. Love to see that. Really, really great to see Braden Smith coming back and being able to do what he does. News about the edge group, and we'll talk about more of this group here in a bit, but Tyquan Lewis was asked about, what he could do for this Colts team with Ebukam's Achilles tear and now him having to maybe be relied upon more. And he had a great quote, said, you could put me anywhere. You could put me in the middle of the ocean. I can't swim, but I'll try. So that's awesome. Love to hear that from Tyquan, who, knows what it's like to have to deal with a whole bunch of injuries and try to come back. So definitely someone you want to keep an eye out for. Now going into what actually happened at practice today, another fight broke out. I guess it is a scuffle, it was a fight, I don't know. But Michael Pittman got into another one, this time with linebacker EJ Speed. A couple shoves and a few, I think an occasional fist might have gotten thrown maybe, but they said nothing major and practice resumed after they were broken up. So I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I know a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, like, why is Pittman doing this? Why is Pittman continuously having all of these little scuffles with all of these different players? Well, here's the thing, guys. First of all, football is a very violent sport. Okay, let's remember that. These are men. They're running around. They're tired. They're aggressive. They're competitive. They want to do what they can. So when it comes to that situation, just you got to understand that even if you love the brothers that are on the field with you and in this locker room and on this team, still going to have times where there's things where you don't like things and they don't like things, and you're gonna settle it in different ways. And especially for a guy like Michael Pittman, who runs hard, practices hard, all of those other things. And Michael Pittman, that kind of practicing, sometimes you do something that might rub somebody the wrong way. From what I heard is Michael Pittman extended a play past the whistle and ended up throwing EJ Speed into the ground, and maybe that was what it was. So listen, it's all part of the levels to this. Okay, Michael Pittman is an aggressive competitor, and that is perfectly fine. Michael Pittman does not have any ill will towards the rest of these guys, and I'm sure the rest of these guys do not have ill will towards Michael Pittman because, like I said, things like this happen. It does. It's going to happen in football practices. As long as we're not seeing something like this happen every single day, then we might have an issue, but this is only the second fight we've seen, and Michael Pittman has had times where he's had scuffles with people. Okay, so it happens when you're one of the top dogs, and he is one of the top dogs on this team. So either way, not think too much more of it right now. A couple other things. Anthony Richardson had a beautiful dot pass to Josh Downs on a deep post route in the 7-on-7s. AR pointed to JD afterwards. And I'm telling y'all, the stock between Josh Downs and Anthony Richardson, it's climbing more and more and more. Every day, you're seeing something of Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs connecting on a really great play. It's going to happen, folks. This is a match made in heaven if you are wanting to have Josh Downs as part of something there. George saying Richardson goes 4 for 6 with no touchdowns or interceptions and was sacked twice. Through 4 practices overall, he's 22 for 30 with 3 touchdowns and an interception through those 4 practices. So completing over 70%, 3 touchdowns and interception. So overall, again, Anthony Richardson has been accurate and has been on target through all of that. Couple other things that happened today. Saguna Luby recorded a nice punch out after a catch by Molly Cox, and Ronnie Harrison shoots through the line to knock down an AR pass in 11-on-11. Micah Abraham flashed with a nice PBU against Evan Hall. George saying a pretty solid day for the D overall. Another thing, too, with Latu, who got both reps against second stringers and first stringers, actually had a couple of really good plays, had a really good rep against Blake Freeland. Latu beat him around the edge with a swim move, and that said that the speed was elite. Laitu also beat Bernard Ryman in a rep later in practice around the edge and got a sack on Anthony Richardson. Latu has been impressive during the first day of pads, they said. He was one of the most obvious guys to look at today. Matt Gay also went 4 for 4 on field goals today, so he was accurate. Great to hear that as well. Last couple things here. Titus Leo was carted off at the end of practice. Certainly hope nothing bad happens to him. He did have an injury last year that ended his season. Don't want to have that happen again. One other thing, too, Anthony Richardson did also have his ankle stepped on during today's practice. From what I heard was that one play he accidentally ran into Kenny Moore, And then another play, he got his foot stepped on, and he was kind of holding his lower leg a little bit. But Shane Steichen reported, actually, I think I have it over here. So, yeah, it says he got his foot stepped on during a team period, which made him fall. AR also banged into Kenny Moore on another play, but Steichen wasn't concerned about either play. AR still practiced fully after that, and that'll continue. And he basically just stated he's good. So, and honestly, I think that's a good thing for Anthony Richardson. I know that we were only really worried about the shoulder, but you're going to have these kinds of, with how Richardson is and how big he is and how he likes to run once in a while, you're going to have times like that where guys are going to step on your feet and you're going to get bumped the wrong way sometimes. It's good to have Richardson kind of get a feel for that early and just understand, hey, yeah, these are some of the hurts you're going to have to deal with, but you're good, right? Like, I'm good on my foundation. So all's good there. No need to panic, Colts Nation. We'll go ahead and hop into the last couple things here that Steichen said after practice. Asked about Shane Steichen on Ebukam's absence. Kwity Paye, Dio Dangbo, and Latu. It's time. Those guys need to step up on that, he says. Also on Latu's first padded practice, explosive coming around the edge and pads. It'll be good to see him in these preseason games. So we will get to see some Latu action this preseason for sure. Latu was asked today as well about missing out on Ebukam, who basically talks about him as his big bro. He said, I was hella sad. Pre-draft, after draft, pre-practice, he's literally been helping me. He said on how Ebukam's absence could affect him. Says, I've been fighting for that starting spot. Nothing changes for me. So Latu's got his head on right. Good stuff there, guys. We got a lot more coming of this. Make sure to keep an eye out for it. We will continue to keep you updated. But that's it for recap of today's practice. Be sure to let us know what you guys think. Thank you so much. And as always, go Colts.